Hello guys, welcome back. So in this class we are going to learn how to install Kali Linux operating system instead of Ubuntu that I mentioned in the earlier class. So in this class we will install Kali Linux on your VirtualBox hypervisor application on a Windows 10 machine. I hope you have installed VirtualBox application on your respective system, whether you are using Windows or Linux based distributions like Ubuntu or Fedora or even Macintosh. If you are not comfortable with VirtualBox, I have given the link of VMware how to install VMware hypervisor application on your Windows machines, and you can install VMware instead of VirtualBox. So let us start installation of Kali Linux. But before installation of Kali Linux, let us know about the Kali Linux operating system itself. Kali Linux is a Debian-based Linux operating system. As you know, Linux is a Unix-like operating system that was built in 1991 by Linus Torvalds. So I'm not going much deeper into the Linux, but to let you know that there are different distributions of Linux. Like you have Android, Slackware, Mandriva, and Arch and Debian. So Kali Linux is a Debian-based distribution operating system. It comes in 32 bits and 64 bits and can install on i386 and AMD 64 architectures. So Kali Linux is simply a Linux operating system like any other Linux operating system, but it comes with pre-installed security tools. Almost over 600 plus tools are installed or integrated on Kali Linux operating system, and that is why it's very much popular among penetration testers and digital forensic experts. So Kali Linux was built by replacing Backtrack operating system in year 2013. Backtrack was built in 2006 by offensive security team for digital forensics and of course penetration testing. So until Backtrack R5 was the last version of Backtrack, which was later replaced by Kali Linux. So you can install Kali Linux operating system on your physical machine or a host machine, and you can install Kali Linux in a virtual machine that we are going to see. You can install Kali Linux in different ways, like you can install using a bootable CD or bootable DVD, or you can install using a USB drive. You can install Kali Linux on a Chrome, that is on Chrome web browser. You can install Kali Linux on Windows as subsystem for Linux, and so on. So in this class we are going to see only installation of Kali Linux on VirtualBox hypervisor application, but I will also give resources how to install Kali Linux in different ways. So that's it about Kali Linux as of now. So we will learn more about Kali Linux as we progress through this course. There is another operating system called as Parrot OS, Parrot operating system, which is also a penetration testers operating system that is very much similar to a Kali Linux. I will also give you a resource file on how to install Parrot OS on your VirtualBox, so that you can use either Kali Linux or Parrot OS based on your convenience or based on your interest of use. So even Parrot OS has so many security tools or security auditing tools inbuilt, pre-installed into the operating system. So finally, Kali stands for KALI. Kali stands for Kernel Auditing Linux. KALI, Kernel Auditing Linux. That is Kali. So that is the full form of Kali Linux. So now in this class, let us see how to install Kali Linux. So open your favorite browser, Firefox or Chrome or any other browser, and type download Kali Linux and hit enter. Now you are seeing a search result from Google, and the top one, this link is from kali.org, which is a link for the downloads of ISO files, or a download page where you can download Kali Linux operating system that suits to your computer or a PC. So this link is Kali Linux 64-bit version installer and 32-bit version and ISO file links of 32 and 64-bit. Now click on the 64-bit installer. Well, its version number is 2020.1b and the file size you can see is 2.1 GB, and this is the hash value, and this hash value is 32 byte or 64 digits hexadecimal number, which is based on algorithm SHA-256. And if you confuse about hash values, don't worry about it right now. Well, if you remember the CIA triad, that is confidentiality, integrity and availability that you have learned in the previous module, this hash value can be used to check the integrity of the files. So let's click on this download the ISO file. So let's click to download the ISO file of Kali Linux. So the download has begun. 2 hours left to finish the download, and the download depends upon your internet speed. So let's wait till the download is finished. Download is finishing. Now it's done. So click on the show in folder, the link. See, that's the Kali Linux ISO file that we have downloaded. So let's check the file properties. Right click to check the file properties. Now see, the file size here is 2.02 GB. But see here, it's 2.1 GB. Some minor difference is there in the file sizes. So let's check the file integrity. Kali has given the hash value SHA-256. So let's check. I have already downloaded this application called HashMyFiles, which calculates the hash values of the file you want to see. So let's double click to open the file. Now you can import the file that you have just downloaded or any file whose hash values you want to check. So let's click on the folder icon and select the file. So I am choosing Kali Linux, which I have downloaded, and the application is now importing the file. You can see here at the bottom of this interface. So it will display all the hash values of different hashing algorithms. As said, don't worry about the terms like hashing, algorithms, SHA, etc. We have separate chapter for it. So SHA-256 hash value will be displayed here. If it is matching to this hash value, then you can conclude that this file is non-tampered while transit or while downloading. So I am showing this application and its importance during this stage because you need to download lot of files during this course, and it will be handy if you feel suspicious about any file that you have downloaded. So you can check the hash values that is provided by the download page or the developer of that application you are downloading, and still it's downloading and still the application is loading the file. Now you can see the hash values of all the hashing algorithms. We are interested only in SHA-256. Double click here. Values are displayed. So copy the hash value of SHA-256 and now open Notepad and paste the hash value you have just copied from the application, and also copy the hash value from the kali.org website and paste directly below the earlier hash value, this hash value I mean. Now verify each hash value, I mean both hash values. It's same, both hash values are same. So file integrity is verified, no worries. You can now start installing Kali Linux operating in virtual machine. So you have to create a virtual machine. So let's open the VirtualBox application that we have installed. This is the VirtualBox manager or interface. Well, before installing Kali Linux, one more thing to teach you, that is all about this interface itself. Using this interface or VirtualBox manager, you can create virtual machines as said and network them so that you can communicate between those virtual machines, and of course you can learn courses like MGSA, ethical hacking, etc. So this interface has two panes, a right pane and a left pane. Both are empty since we don't have any virtual machines. These are the tabs in the top of right pane. So this is add tab, or you can call it button. So this add is used to add virtual machines or virtual machine files if you have one. Since I don't have any VM files, I cannot add to the VirtualBox. And new tab or new button, you can use it to create new virtual machine using this pop-up interface that you are seeing. Export icon is used to export and save your existing virtual machine. If you have any virtual machine that you have created, then you can export. And this is import icon to import your appliance if you have virtual appliance. And now this is preferences. Well, we will see shortly about preferences once we create one virtual machine. And these are same icons that are listed in the right pane with same functions that you are seeing. And this is Virtual Media Manager. So what is Virtual Media Manager? Using Virtual Media Manager, you can add, create, copy, move virtual hard disks. So all your virtual hard disks are listed over here in the virtual media manager, so you can manage them, move them. Okay, double click to open it. You can see the media disk here. Media means, or media could be like CD, DVD, optical disc. You can add, check the properties, and virtual disks, of course. Now here we have kali.vdi, that's the virtual disk listed. After we install the virtual operating system, it will display like this. Optical disk, you can see Kali ISO optical disk. Also you can see listed VirtualBox guest edition ISO file, floppy disk which is empty, and no other media is available. So you can play with the media files from the virtual media manager. You can tamper with them, change the properties, copy, paste and manage, etc. Then we have here is host network manager. From here you can create virtual networks and network the virtual machines so that you can communicate asset. Just like in physical networking, we use networking devices and cables to create networking. Same in the similar fashion we do it here. See, there is one default network with DHCP server enabled. Click on the create to create a virtual network like this. It's creating. So we have second network and DHCP is not enabled. You can enable from the properties tab, but let me remove this network. We will see virtual networking in detail after we create some virtual machines. Network operations manager. No network operations, close it. So check for updates, click here. So here you can see update is available. Newer versions of VirtualBox is available for download. Let's ignore unless you want to update it. Next, reset all warnings, and exit is to exit from the VirtualBox application. And in machine drop down, we have add and create virtual machines that listed as shortcut in the right pane. And finally in the help menu, the last item in the drop down is about VirtualBox. It displays VirtualBox application information like version information, copyright information, etc. Close it. So finally let's start creating a virtual computer. So this is small introduction of this interface. So click on the new icon that you are seeing here. Now asset, using this pop-up box you can create your first virtual machine. Name your computer Kali Linux or just Kali, and machine folder is folder where your virtual machines are saved. So here in this folder they are saved. You can change this destination folder and you can save them in some other place you want. And this is Kali Linux, is a Linux operating system. So in the drop down select Linux, and now the version is Debian 64 since we have downloaded 64-bit ISO file, and the Kali is based on Debian-based Linux distribution. So select Debian 64 and click next. Now configure the RAM for your machine. You can always drag to the end of this green bar as suggested by the VirtualBox, but I will allocate only 2 GB. RAM, that is 2048 MB RAM. You can always play as per your PC or laptop. You can also change this RAM size later after the installation of Kali Linux, so no worries. Click next. Now here you need to create virtual hard disk. The recommended size of the hard disk as per VirtualBox is 8 GB. If you have any existing virtual hard disk files, you can use them or you can import them. Click on create. Now since you have created virtual hard disk, you must specify its type by selecting one of the options. Like if you select the last one, that is VMDK, virtual machine disk, you can import in VMware hypervisor application also to create virtual computer over in that application. So if you create in VMDK, then you can take that file, that virtual file, and import it to VMware. I choose VDI, that is VirtualBox disk image, and next. Now disk size. We have virtual hard disk created and we should now choose how its size should function, as it is a file, not a physical device. So as you know that virtual machines take physical machines resources or host machine resources and use them, virtual hard disk takes space from the physical host machine. You might have 1 terabyte, but you can allocate only like 30 or 40 GB to a virtual machine. So it takes that 30 GB or 40 GB from the 1 terabyte you have from the physical host machine. Now we have two options listed here: dynamically allocated and fixed size. If you choose fixed size like 20 GB, 20 GB space is taken from the physical hard disk to create virtual hard disk. And whether you use the disk space or not, the size remains fixed as 20 GB. And if you choose dynamically allocated and if you specify size as 30 GB for example, disk space will be used maximum up to 30 GB, and this space fills up from the physical hard disk as you use the space. And I recommend to choose dynamically allocated. Click on the next. Now here you need to specify size of the hard disk, that is allocating space from physical hard disk to kali.vdi file that we have created. So recommended from VirtualBox is 8 GB, but I will allocate 34 GB because there are a lot of installations I need to do and I'll save a lot of files. Now click on create. Now this is virtual machine that is built for Kali Linux operating system, and before installing Kali Linux operating system, some final settings have to be done and need to be explained to you. So in this left pane you can see Kali virtual machine, and in the right pane you are seeing at the system related information. We have new settings, discard and start tabs over here. Under new we have general, system, display storage, audio, network, USB, shared folders and description. Under new general you can see the name of virtual machine and operating system details. Here it's Debian 64-bit type OS. Next under system you can see your settings. Base memory, that is RAM, is 2048 MB or 2 GB that we have given. Boot order, we don't need floppy disk, uncheck. So the boot order is optical disk and hard disk. Next item is display. But let me click on the settings tab so that we can learn to configure settings that are displayed here. Click on settings. Under settings tab you are seeing the same items that are displayed in the previous interface. So here you can customize the settings for any operating system, not just Kali Linux. But you need to select the operating system from the left pane before doing any changes. So here under settings you can see general, system, display, storage and so on. Under general tab you can see here basic, advanced, description and encryption. Under general basic you can see the name, type and version of the operating system. Before installing operating system you can change the name here and the type and the version of the operating system. Next tab is advanced. Here you are seeing the snapshot folder. We will see what is snapshot after installation of Kali Linux. It is very much important. Next is shared clipboard. Use bidirectional, and under drag and drop also use bidirectional. Shared clip folder is a feature that you can copy paste in both host and virtual machines. Either way, it means that you can copy in the host machine and paste in the virtual machine. Similarly, drag and drop is a feature in the machine which or where you can drag the files from host to the virtual machine or between the host and virtual machines. Next is description tab. You can write descriptions of operating systems. Next, encryption. If you want to enable disk encryption feature on your virtual disk, you can enable and set password. I am ignoring as I don't want this feature as of now. The next is system. Under system you have motherboard, processor and acceleration settings. Under motherboard you can see base memory, that is RAM, is set to 2 GB. Earlier we did, but you can change here as set, or after the installation of Kali Linux or any other operating system you can do also. You can uncheck the floppy option in the boot order. As of now do not change anything else. Under processor tab, you can change the processor count from 4 to 8, and again depends upon the host system. I'm setting it to 2, and that's it with changes in system tab. Now under display, we have screen, remote display and recording features. Under screen, video memory, you can see you can set video memory amount to this virtual machine maximum up to 128 MB. Do not change the monitor count and graphics controller. Next, remote display. This feature is to view Kali Linux remotely using remote desktop view. You need to enable the server, set the port number and choose the authentication method. Next, recording feature. You can enable recording feature to video record the virtual machine activity that you are doing, and it will be saved in WebM format at this location. As said, while you are doing penetration testing, you need to either take the screenshots or video files so that you can show to your client. So this is a recording feature that helps you. And next is storage. Under storage, you can see controller IDE and another is SATA IDE. You are seeing this empty, disk icon is empty. This is CD DVD tray where you actually mount your CD DVDs. Using this icon, we will mount virtual CD DVD files, that is ISO file we have downloaded. Click on empty and select the option. Choose a disk file and select Kali Linux operating system ISO file. Select and click on open to mount this ISO file. Now see, the empty is replaced with the name of Kali Linux ISO file, and down you can see kali.vdi file, that is virtual hard disk we have created. Click OK. Audio, leave defaults, and in network we have 4 network adapters listed. Default is adapter 1 with NAT, that is network address translation is enabled. Next is serial port, leave defaults for this class. Under USB you can add physical devices or physical USB devices to virtual machine like your pen drive or mouse, etc. Shared folder is a feature to share files and folders between host and virtual machines or guest machines. And the last is user interface. User interface enables you to customize the display of certain options and features of that particular virtual machines. So you can play around with the drop downs of these options you are seeing over here. So these are self-explanatory. Finally, it's time to install Kali Linux operating system.
Hello guys. So previous installation of Kali Linux which was made in 2023 was removed, and this is a new Kali Linux installation added and edited to this video. So I have downloaded Kali Linux Purple from the link kali.org, get Kali from the platforms. And if you scroll down, you can see the installed images, but if you further scroll down, you have Kali Linux Purple documentation, and this is the download part where you can actually download the file, ISO file or torrent. So I have already downloaded the file, as you can see, and it is saved in J folder ISO files. Okay, this is the ISO file which I have downloaded for the installation of this video purpose. So let me actually move back to VirtualBox installer. So this is a VirtualBox manager, as you know, and we have a couple of other operating systems already installed. So let me now hit on new button to install Kali Linux. So let me type Kali Linux. So now here in the folder section, I have to mention the path of the folder where I will actually save all my files. Okay, so this is the folder, VBox folder, where I will save all my files. So let me click over here and copy the path, and I can paste over here. Now I have to mention the path of ISO file. So let me drop over here and select other and mention the path. The path is again the J drive and ISOs. So click on the ISO image and click on the open button. Click on the next. The current base memory RAM of this virtual machine is 2048 MB, which is 2 MB. I will change it to 4096 and the processor count to 2 or 3. I'll drag it to 4. Click on the next. And the virtual hard disk is 25 GB. I'll change it to 45. Okay. Click on the next. And this is the summary of the virtual machine that you are going to install on VirtualBox Manager. Click on the finish and now click on the start button to start the VM. So we have a couple of options over here, and you have 26 seconds to go to choose the options: graphical install, advanced options, and so on. So let me choose graphical install to install this OS, Kali Linux. Hit enter. So as you can see, you have to select the language, beautiful purple and violet color. So the language default is English. I'm going to choose English only. So click on the continue button, and now you have to select your country of location. Default is United States, and I'm selecting India since I'm from India. Hit enter or click on continue button. You have to configure the keyboard. So default key map to use is American English. So I will use the American English only. Click on the continue. So mount installation media is detecting and mount installation media. Loading additional components which are required for the installation of Kali Linux. So this could take some time. Detect network hardware. Configuring the network. So it is detecting the network adapters. Configuring the network with DHCP, dynamic host configuration protocol. Now you have to mention the host name. Here I'll mention host name as kpurple. The default is Kali, or let it be Kali. I'll change the username to purple. So continue. So domain name you can leave it as default empty. Click on continue button. Type the name of the user. So my name is Kiran Tirukovela. The full name of the new user, that is to create a user account. Continue. So the user account or username for your account is Kiran, but I'll change it to purple. You can write your own name. Click on continue. You have to type the password for account purple. So type a strong password. Now click on continue button. Configuring the clock, detecting the disk, partition disk. So you have to do the partition over here. Starting the partitioner and scanning for the disk. So if you're a beginner, you can use the first option, guided use entire disk. As you can read over here, partition disks. The installer can guide you through the partitioning a disk. So if you have done courses like Red Hat courses, managing and administration, you can use the manual method and you can create a partition of the disk like root, swap, boot, etc. But let me choose guided, the first option, so that I can use the entire disk. Click on continue. So the partition is SDA and it has 48.3 GB. Click on continue. So as you can see, partition disk, you can use different schemes, like choose the one of the three options, like you can separate root home, root var and root temp into separate partitions, or you can put all the files into one single partition. So I'm choosing the first one. Now in the single partition in SDA, I can see I will have all the root, swap, var, temp, etc, all the files in a single partition. So click on the continue button. Now finish the partition and you have to write and save changes to the disk. So click continue, hit on continue button and write changes to the disk. So this is a little summary of the partitioning of the disk. Click on yes and click continue. This may take some time and I'll get back when it is finished. Configuring the package manager and softwares installing. So now here you have to actually choose the desktop environment. As you can read, at the moment the only core system is installed. The default selection below will install Kali Linux with a standard desktop environment. So here you can choose the desktop environment. The default is KFC, so you can choose GNOME desktop environment. Click on it if you want, or you can use KDE also. So I'll choose GNOME with the default option. Click on the continue button and this will take some time, really. Maybe it can take up to 15 to 20 minutes. Again, it depends upon your preferences that you have mentioned during setting up the Kali Linux VM. Now you have to choose the display manager. The default is GDM3. I'll choose with the default one. Click on the continue button. Now this can take really long time. I will get back when the installation is finished. The installing is still going on. It's almost 5 minutes since I paused the video. So let me pause once again. So you can choose no to avoid the installation of grub bootloader, but for the demonstration purpose I'll show yes and click on the continue button and enter the device manually. We have only single partition, that is SDA. So we'll choose the partition, select the SDA partition and click on the continue button. So it is now finishing the installation of Kali Linux. So as you can see now, the installation is complete, and you can click on the continue button and the system will reboot. Now the system is going to reboot, as you can see. So as you can see, this is a Kali Linux virtual machine, a beautiful purple color theme. So you can click on the applications, and these are all the tools categorized as per the name, like information gathering, vulnerability analysis, and so on. Click on the places and you can see the home folder, documents, downloads, and so on. The video is not complete yet. Now you have to install the guest editions. So click on the devices in the VirtualBox manager and click on the insert guest editions. So let me close this once and open the files. Click on the folder icon. As you can see, now we have a guest editions ISO mounted. I click on it and you have to copy this file, VirtualBox Linux editions.run. So let me copy to desktop and I'll paste over here. As you can see, now you have to open the terminal again, and let me go into a root. Sorry, type the password. So I'm root to user now, and pwd to show the current directory. Home, purple, hit enter, and ls. As you can see, we have documents, downloads, desktop, and so on. So let me navigate to desktop folder because I saved the file in the desktop. Click enter, ls. So this is the file you have to run in order to install the guest editions. Before that, you have to give executable permissions. For that, the command is chmod 777 and the name of the file. Hit enter. Now if you type ls once again, you can see the color of the file is now changed. The command to run the file is // and name of the file. Hit enter, and as you can see, we are now installing the guest editions. Hit enter for yes. The system has done rebooting. Now you don't require this file. You can select it and hit delete on the keyboard to delete the file. Open the terminal. Now you have to update the system. Sudo, hit enter, sorry, sudo -i, type the password, and now apt update is a command to update the system. So update is going on. Now you can actually upgrade the system using the command same apt upgrade. You can do the full upgrade, I guess. Full upgrade, because this is a new system. -y, hit enter. And this could take even up to 30 minutes, and it depends upon the speed of your internet. So I will pause this video and I will get back. So that's it in this class, guys, as it could take a lot of time. Thank you for watching the video, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel INSECTECHS.